Ryan had always thought of himself as a fortunate man. He had a loving wife, a stable job, and a comfortable home. His marriage to Emily seemed like a dream come true, built on love, trust, and years of shared experiences. Their friends often told them they were the perfect couple, and Ryan had no reason to doubt it. That was until one fateful evening when a single message turned his entire world upside down. It was a regular work night, and Ryan was staying late to finish up some reports. He had a habit of losing track of time when he was focused, but when his phone buzzed, he instinctively glanced at it. It was a message from his best friend, Jake. "Hey man, I wasn't sure if I should say this, but I saw Emily tonight, and she wasn't alone." Ryan blinked at the screen, his fingers hesitating over the keyboard. A strange, cold sensation crept into his stomach. "Ryan, what do you mean, where?" "Jake. Downtown. That new fancy restaurant, Blue Orchid. She was with some guy, and they looked close." Ryan frowned. That didn't make sense. Emily had told him she was having dinner with her sister tonight. Why would she lie? His rational mind tried to offer alternatives. Maybe it was a co-worker or an old friend. But something about the way Jake worded it made his chest tighten. He hesitated before typing, "Ryan. Are you sure maybe it was just a business dinner or something?" "Jake, man, I know what I saw." They were laughing, leaning in real close. It wasn't just business. Ryan stared at his phone, feeling his pulse quicken. His mouth went dry, and suddenly the office felt too quiet, too still. He checked the time, 9:30 p.m. Emily should have been home by now. Without thinking, he grabbed his keys and headed out, his mind spinning. When Ryan pulled into the driveway, he could see the warm glow of the living room lights through the window. Emily was already home. He took a deep breath, trying to steady himself before stepping inside. She was sitting on the couch, her legs tucked under her, sipping from a glass of wine. She looked up and smiled, as if nothing was wrong. "Hey, you're home early," she said casually. Ryan forced a smile. "Yeah, finished up quicker than I thought." Emily stretched, setting her glass down. "That's great. Long day?" "Yeah," he said automatically, still studying her. She looked relaxed, at ease. There was no sign of guilt, no nervousness. But then again, Emily had always been good at keeping her emotions in check. "How was dinner with your sister?" he asked, carefully watching her reaction. Emily didn't even hesitate. "Oh, it was great. We haven't had a chance to catch up in so long. We had a lot to talk about." Ryan felt a sharp sting in his chest. She was lying. He knew it. But how could she sit there and lie to his face so easily? A million questions raced through his mind, but he didn't push further. Not yet. He needed more than just Jake's word. He needed proof. That night, Ryan barely slept. He lay awake, staring at the ceiling, his mind replaying every little detail, every conversation, every late night Emily had spent working late. Had she been lying to him this whole time? How long had this been going on? The doubts consumed him, turning his love into something darker, something bitter. The next morning, as Emily got ready for work, Ryan made a decision. He was going to find out the truth, whatever it took. Ryan couldn't shake the feeling that something was deeply wrong. The way Emily had lied so effortlessly the night before haunted him. Every little detail about their marriage now seemed questionable. Every late night she spent working. Every weekend she had plans with friends. How long had this been going on? Was he just blind to the signs, or had she been that good at deceiving him? The next morning, he woke up to the sound of Emily humming in the kitchen. She was making coffee, the rich aroma filling the air. It was a scene so familiar, yet now it felt foreign. He watched her, trying to decipher her body language, searching for any sign of guilt. But she was just normal. That was the most unsettling part. "Morning, babe," she greeted him with a kiss on the cheek. Ryan forced a smile. "Morning. Want me to make you some eggs?" she offered, her voice light and casual. He shook his head. "No, I'm good. Just coffee." She nodded and slid a mug toward him. "Big day at work?" "Yeah," he said, though his mind was elsewhere. He needed answers. As she grabbed her purse and keys, she gave him another quick peck. "See you tonight, love you." Ryan hesitated for a fraction of a second before responding. "Love you too." It tasted like a lie. The moment Emily left, Ryan grabbed his phone. He couldn't just sit around waiting for her to slip up. He had to do something. "Ryan. Jake. I need you to tell me everything you saw last night. Every detail." Jake responded almost immediately. "Jake. They got there around 7:30. I was with Lisa, and we were seated across the restaurant. Emily was with this guy, dark hair, tall, dressed sharp. He had his hand on hers at one point. They looked really into each other, man." Ryan gritted his teeth. The image of his wife holding another man's hand sent a wave of rage through him. "Ryan. Did you hear anything? What were they talking about?" "Jake. I couldn't hear everything, but at one point she laughed at something he said and touched his arm. Dude, it wasn't friendly, it was something more." Ryan clenched his fist. He had spent years believing in their marriage, trusting Emily with everything. And now she was out there sharing intimate moments with another man. He needed proof. More than just Jake's word, and he knew exactly how to get it. That afternoon, instead of heading straight home after work, Ryan drove to a small electronics store. He browsed the shelves until he found what he was looking for, a small, discreet voice recorder. He paid in cash, his hands slightly trembling as he put it in his pocket. By the time he got home, Emily was already there, lounging on the couch, scrolling through her phone. She looked up and smiled. "Hey, how was work?" "Good," Ryan said, his voice even. "You?" Same old, same old." She stretched and yawned. "I was thinking of ordering takeout tonight. You in the mood for Thai?" Ryan nodded. "Sounds good." She got up and disappeared into the kitchen to grab a menu. This was his chance. Quickly he slipped into their bedroom, pulling open the nightstand drawer on her side of the bed. He had never done anything like this before, but desperation overpowered his guilt. Inside, everything looked normal. Lip balm, hair ties, a few old receipts. But then he noticed something tucked at the very back, a folded note. His hands were shaking as he pulled it out. "Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about you. Let's do it again soon." Ryan felt like he had been punched in the stomach. This wasn't just paranoia, it wasn't just suspicion, it was real. Emily was cheating, and now he had proof. Ryan sat in their dimly lit bedroom, the note still clenched in his hand. His pulse pounded in his ears, drowning out every other sound. He read the words over and over again, each time hoping he had somehow misinterpreted them. But the reality was inescapable. Emily had been with another man. After what felt like an eternity, he forced himself to move. He grabbed his phone and took a picture of the note, saving it as evidence. Then, with deliberate slowness, he placed it back exactly where he found it. He wanted to see if she would react, if she would notice it had been touched. For the rest of the evening, Ryan played his part perfectly. He laughed at her jokes, responded to her casual conversations, and even ate dinner with her as if nothing had changed. But inside, he was calculating his next move. That night, as Emily slept soundly beside him, Ryan lay awake, staring at the ceiling. His mind raced through every possibility. Confronting her now wouldn't be enough. She would just deny it. He needed undeniable proof. And so the next morning he put his plan into motion. Ryan left for work as usual, but instead of heading to his office, he made a detour. He drove across town to a small private investigator's office. The building was old and tucked away in a quiet street, the kind of place most people would never notice, unless they were looking for it. He hesitated for only a moment before stepping inside. A middle-aged man with graying hair and tired eyes looked up from behind a cluttered desk. His nameplate read, "Daniel Carter, Private Investigator." "You don't look like the type who usually hires a PI," Carter said, leaning back in his chair. Ryan sat down, exhaling sharply. "I don't think I ever imagined I would. But here I am." Carter studied him for a moment before nodding. "Tell me what's going on." Ryan hesitated, then pulled out his phone and slid it across the desk, displaying the picture of the note. "My wife is cheating on me. I need proof. Solid proof." Carter picked up the phone, reading the message. He let out a low whistle. "Oof. That's rough." He glanced back at Ryan. "You sure you want to go down this road?" Ryan's jaw tightened. "I have to." Carter nodded. All right. I can start tailing her, see where she goes, who she meets, but that kind of work isn't cheap. Ryan didn't even hesitate. I don't care about the cost. Carter smirked slightly. That's what they all say, until they see the bill. But he didn't press the issue further. Give me her schedule, places she frequents, anything that might help. Ryan provided everything he could. Emily's workplace, her gym, her favorite restaurants. Carter took notes, nodding occasionally. I'll keep you updated, Carter finally said. Give me a few days. Ryan stood up. Thanks. As he left the office, a strange sense of calm settled over him. For the first time in days, he felt like he was regaining control. That evening, Emily came home a little later than usual. Ryan was already sitting on the couch, pretending to scroll through his phone. Hey, babe, she said, dropping her purse onto the table. Sorry I'm late. Work ran over. Ryan glanced up, forcing a smile. All good. She leaned down, pressing a soft kiss to his cheek before heading to the kitchen. Ryan clenched his fists. The way she could lie so easily, so effortlessly, it made his stomach turn. He needed to know the truth, and soon he would. 3 days passed, and Ryan barely slept. Every time Emily left the house, he wondered if Carter was out there, following her, documenting her betrayal. The uncertainty gnawed at him, making it hard to focus on anything else. Finally, late one evening, Carter sent him a message. Carter, we need to talk. Meet me at Joe's Diner at 9 p.m. Ryan's stomach twisted into knots. He knew this was it, the moment of truth. Joe's Diner was a quiet, old-school place on the outskirts of town. It had red leather booths, a jukebox that barely worked, and a waitress who had probably been there since the place opened. Ryan spotted Carter immediately, sitting in a booth near the back, nursing a cup of coffee. Carter looked up as Ryan approached. Sit, he said, his tone flat. Ryan slid into the booth, his heart hammering. What did you find? Carter pulled a folder from his bag and slid it across the table. You sure you want to see this? Ryan's fingers trembled as he flipped. Open the folder. Inside were photos, dozens of them. Emily, his wife, laughing, touching, and ultimately kissing another man. A man Ryan didn't recognize. His stomach lurched. The pictures were time-stamped, showing different locations. Her, gym, a cafe near her workplace, a hotel, a hotel. Ryan swallowed hard, his throat tightening. Who is he? Carter took a sip of coffee. His name's Jason Carter, works in finance, married. Ryan clenched his fists. He's married? Carter nodded. Yeah. I dug around. His wife's name is Laura Carter. From what I can tell, she has no idea either. Ryan's vision blurred with rage. He had expected to feel pain, sadness, but all he felt was anger. His entire marriage had been a lie. Carter leaned forward. Listen, I've been in this business a long time. I've seen people destroy themselves over this kind of thing. Don't do anything stupid. Ryan exhaled shakily, gripping the edge of the table. What should I do? Carter smirked. That's up to you. But if you want my advice, don't confront her yet. Play the long game, make her think everything's normal, and then when the time is right, hit her where it hurts. Ryan looked down at the photos again, his mind racing. He knew exactly what he had to do. That night when he got home, Emily was waiting for him in the kitchen, a glass of wine in her hand. Hey, you're home late, she said, smiling. Everything. Okay. Ryan forced himself to smile back. Yeah, just had some extra work to do. She walked over and wrapped her arms around his neck, pressing her body against him. I missed you. His stomach turned. How many times had she come home from seeing Jason and done the exact same thing? I missed you too, he lied. Emily pulled back slightly, looking into his eyes. You seem tense. Ryan shrugged. Just tired. She kissed him, slow and sweet, as if she had no guilt weighing on her conscience. And that was when Ryan realized Emily wasn't just cheating, she was a master manipulator, and he was about to beat her at her own game. Ryan spent the next few days crafting a plan. He wasn't going to confront Emily, not yet. Instead, he was going to make her think she had won, that he was completely oblivious. But behind the scenes, he was setting everything up for her downfall. The sea. First thing he did was contact Laura Carter, Jason's wife. He found her on social media, scrolling through her pictures until he found a recent one, a smiling brunette with soft eyes, holding a cup of coffee in a cozy kitchen. She had no idea her husband was sneaking around with another woman. Ryan hesitated for a moment before sending her a message. Ryan: "Hi, Laura. I know this is going to sound strange, but I think we need to talk. It's about your husband, Jason." She didn't respond immediately. Hours passed. Ryan started to wonder if she would just ignore him. Then, late that night, his phone buzzed. "Laura, who are you? What do you mean?" Ryan took a deep breath and typed, "Ryan, my name is Ryan. My wife Emily is having an affair with Jason. I have proof." There was a long pause. Then, "Laura, prove it." Ryan sent her a few of the photos Carter had taken, Emily and Jason in intimate moments. He watched the little dots appear and disappear, indicating that she was typing and then stopping. Finally, she responded. "Laura, I don't know what to say." Ryan: "I know it's a lot to take in. I felt the same way when I found out, but I think we can help each other." "Laura, how?" Ryan smiled to himself. The trap was set. The next morning, Ryan went about his day as if nothing had changed. He kissed Emily before she left for work, told her he loved her. He even planned a date night for the weekend, something to throw her off guard. Meanwhile, Laura and he coordinated their next steps. She was just as furious as he was. Laura had been married to Jason for 7 years. They had a child together, a 5-year-old son. The thought of their family being torn apart over his selfish actions made her blood boil. She wanted justice. Ryan and Laura devised a plan. They would expose them, not just to each other, but to everyone who mattered. Laura was going to confront Jason at his office in front of his colleagues. Ryan, he was going to ruin Emily's perfect little world in the most public way possible. The night before the confrontation, Ryan and Emily had dinner together. She smiled at him, twirling her fork in her pasta, acting like she wasn't lying to his face every day. "I was thinking," Emily said. "Maybe we should go on a little trip soon, just the two of us. A getaway." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "Oh, where were you thinking?" Emily shrugged. "Somewhere romantic, maybe a cabin in the mountains." Ryan's stomach churned at her audacity. She wanted a romantic getaway. With him. "I like that idea," he said smoothly, hiding his disgust. Emily grinned, reaching across the table to squeeze his hand. Ryan squeezed back, knowing that tomorrow her world was going to shatter. The morning of the big reveal arrived. Ryan had barely slept the night before, his mind racing with everything that was about to happen. He sat at the kitchen table, sipping his coffee as Emily got ready for work, completely unaware that her world was about to come crashing down. "Have a great day, babe," she said, leaning in to kiss him on the cheek. "You too," he replied with a smirk, knowing full well it would be anything but a great day for her. As soon as Emily left, Ryan sprang into action. He double-checked everything, his recordings, the messages, the photos. He had spent the last few days gathering as much evidence as possible, making sure there was no way for Emily or Jason to weasel out of what they had done. Meanwhile, Laura was executing her part of the plan. She had told Jason she was stopping by his office to surprise him with lunch, but instead of a warm meal, she was bringing a storm. 30 a.m. Jason's office. Laura walked into the office building with a confident stride. She had sent an email to Jason's boss and a few of his closest colleagues, requesting a surprise meeting in the conference room. When she arrived, they were all gathered, curious about what was going on. Jason entered the room, looking confused. "Laura, what are you doing here?" She smiled sweetly. "Oh, just thought I'd bring you something special." With that, she placed a folder on the table and slid it toward him. Jason hesitated before opening it. As soon as he saw the contents, photos of him and Emily, screenshots of their messages, his face went pale. "What the hell is this?" he stammered. Laura crossed her arms. "It's proof. Proof that you've been lying. Proof that you've been cheating on me with another man's wife." Murmurs filled the room as Jason's co-workers leaned in, glancing at the incriminating evidence. His boss, a stern-looking woman in her 50s, flipped through the documents and shook her head. "This is highly inappropriate, Jason," she said. Coldly, Jason stuttered, trying to explain himself, but Laura didn't give him the chance. She pulled out her phone and pressed play on a voice recording, one of his conversations with Emily that Ryan had secretly recorded. Everyone in the room heard Jason's voice clear as day, saying, "Don't worry, baby. My wife has no clue. She's so naive, just like Ryan." Silence fell over the room. Jason looked around, panic in his eyes. His boss sighed. "We'll discuss your future here later, Jason. For now, I think you should leave." Laura watched as Jason's entire professional reputation crumbled in an instant. It was satisfying, but the best part was still to come. PM. Emily's workplace. Ryan had chosen a very special way to expose Emily. He wasn't going to do it in private. No, she deserved to be humiliated, the same way she had humiliated him. He arrived at Emily's office building and walked straight to the front desk. "Hi, I'm here to make a delivery for Emily Thompson," he said, holding a large envelope. The receptionist smiled. "Oh, sure, I'll call her down." A few minutes later, Emily appeared, looking surprised. "Ryan, what are you doing here?" Ryan smiled. "I just wanted to give you something." He handed her the envelope. Curious, Emily opened it. Inside were printed screenshots of her texts, with Jason, photos of them together, and a note that read, "Hope you had fun. Because it's over." Emily's face turned ghost white. "Ryan—" But before she could finish, Ryan pulled out his phone and tapped a button. A second later, a loud ding echoed through the office. Emily's co-workers started pulling out their phones, frowning as they read something. Then, one by one, they turned to look at her. Ryan had just sent the evidence to every single one of Emily's co-workers. There was a gasp, then whispers, then laughter. Emily's boss, a tall man with graying hair, stepped forward. "Emily, my office now." Ryan turned to leave, satisfied. Emily tried to grab his arm. "Ryan, please, let's talk about this." He pulled away. "There's nothing to talk about. You made your choice. Now, you get to live with it." He walked away, never looking back. That night, Ryan and Laura met up for drinks. They toasted to their newfound freedom, to the revenge that had been perfectly executed. "You know," Laura said, swirling her wine, "I thought this would break me, but honestly, I feel lighter." Ryan nodded. "Same here." For the first time in a long time, he felt at peace. Emily and Jason had made their choices, and now they were the ones left picking up the pieces.